let that music play a little bit. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 112 of the PDH Pod, the Total Pauper Commander Exploration Podcast. This week, obviously, as you can see, we are on a very awesome, special, super special, happy smile time live episode, chatting with the chatters on Twitch. I am your host, Brad Dragfee, and let's see what my co-hosts from the East Coast are up to before we start talking about some cards. First up, Dave the Alcadron Vader. How's it going, buddy?
It's going well. I'm delighted to be here. Turns out pre-shows are super fun when you get to chat with literally all your friends.
I know, when the entire people are here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it turns out I've done, 112 plus intros and I don't have them memorized yet. So when I try to wing it, it just all falls apart.
I wonder if I have them memorized.
It's all up here.
I don't
the
know.
pieces
I feel
are
like
here. Just I can't put it all together.
I feel like every time you're gone,
I have none of it memorized.
Liam volunteers to be like the showrunner, so he's doing the intros. Like, I don't know that I've ever done an intro.
You did it. I think the first time Brad was gone.
I think the very first time, yeah.
And then you were like never again.
When Chev and Jules were on, I think.
Like, okay.
Yeah. Way back, almost 2 years ago.
I'd be okay with doing it again. I'm kind of indifferent.
Cool. All right, next up, as usual, is our live PDH PhD, Liam. How was your week?
It's been a week.
It's been a week, huh?
It's been a week.
But Captain, it's only Wednesday.
Since we last talked, I had 2 teeth forcibly removed from my mouth.
Involuntarily?
Voluntarily,
okay.
But forcibly.
Forcibly.
Very forcibly. Still feeling it a little bit.
Sure.
Still feeling a little bit, which is the rough part. But other than that, it's been pretty good. Got some spoilers that we'll talk about here in a couple minutes for, the next 2 to 5 hours.
Yep.
But
however long it takes.
Yeah, no, that's pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. This week's topic, we are going to talk some Mystery Boosters 2, see what kind of cool stuff we've gotten, talk about the new treatments and the new funny cards and maybe some new commanders. I think at least one of us has a deck they want to build, so we'll get to that. But we got to do a little bit of housekeeping first, as usual. If you're in the chat or you're listening to it on your stereo system, if you like the show and you like what we're doing, please consider supporting us over on Patreon at patreon.com/thepdhpod. Patrons get access to a pre-show, which this week we sort of just recorded with the Twitch chat, so I'm going to try to clip that and put the video portion onto Patreon, but usually it's about an hour or so of just audio pre-show, setting up the show notes, getting the Audacity and our microphones and everything all set up, so you get that. We catch up for the week and all that kind of good stuff. You also get early access to the episode and the show notes. I usually post the episode, sort of an early access situation. I posted the night before, so you get a little sneak peek about what the show is going to be about. And then finally, patrons get access to the PDH Pod Discord server, where you can chat with all 3 of us. Literally everybody that's in the Twitch chat right now is probably in the Discord. You can chat with all of them. And then patrons get their own special channels where they can have more intimate conversations, if you will. And then you can also support the show by picking up some custom gaming products over on inkedgaming.com/collections/artist-the-PDH-pod. Some sweet Nebula Design 100 stuff is awesome over there. Dice bags, playmats, spacebar, keycaps, other stuff, bags, I think. It's all pretty dope. I still got to pick me up a playmat. Let's see here. I guess lastly, if you're watching the show on Twitch, you already know we're on Twitch, but you can also check us out over on YouTube. We're just the PDH Pod on both of those platforms. And here on Twitch is where I stream Spell Table PDH every Saturday. It used to be Saturday nights. Now it's kind of migrated to Saturday late morning. We just had a pod, had a couple games this past Saturday, and they were juicers full of beef. It was awesome. It was good times. It was me and Dave and Stein and wow, I'm forgetting the fourth. Oh, Quartz. Excellent decks. Good games all around. But I think that keeps the house pretty well, Liam. What do we got for this week in Magic?
This week in Magic was fairly interesting. So, for those that don't know, it was Gen Con this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And at Gen Con, while it was going on, there was an article that went up on the mothership announcing Mystery Booster 2.
Yep.
And people were kind of like, oh, that's exciting. Awesome.
Yeah. Like, look what they're doing
24 hours
again.
later, Yeah. 24 hours later at Gen Con, Gavin Verhey was passing out these like blacked out, kind of like confidential style invites to Magic celebrities that were present at Gen Con. And then 24 hours after that, we had a Mystery Booster 2 draft.
We did.
And spoilers for basically the rest of the weekend up until like now. And I think they're still trickling in
they
as
are.
people are opening prize packs at home and
Yep.
people that end up just getting packs handed to them randomly at Gen Con. Yeah, so we're here to talk about that.
And I imagine we're going to see those spoilers, teasers, what have you, for a while, because this is another 1,500 card set.
It kind of depends how they go about it. I know I'd have to look at timelines. I know for Mystery Booster 1, it was a decent chunk of time between announcement and debut stream, and then a larger chunk of time between debut stream and like, here's the full card list of 1,800 cards.
Yeah.
I know that many drafts had happened at conventions prior to that actual full list coming out. But it wasn't longer than 6 months, because
Right.
that entire thing, I remember that fall semester in college. That entire series of events happened within one semester. So I imagine by the end of the year, we will have a full list of contents. Actually, I imagine by Vegas we'll have a full list of contents, because I am imagining for them to sell it as a secret lair product, there's a legal thing that we have to know the contents. Or the potential contents.
Sure, that makes sense.
So I could foresee that we will have the full list of 1,850-ish cards by November? Is that when Vegas is?
Towards the end of October. I think Halloween weekend,
Okay.
pretty much.
Yeah, so I'd imagine by then we'll have the full list.
Yeah. Now with Mystery, I don't remember Mystery Boosters 1. Did they also offer it at every convention, like throughout that year, like they're doing with this one, or was it just that one time, and then other than that, you had to buy it like online or whatever? Because with this one, they're making available like pretty much at every convention for the foreseeable future, right?
I know the plan was to make it available at all major Magic conventions for Mystery Booster 1.
Yeah.
And then 6 months later, COVID hit, so that didn't happen.
There we go.
That's why it got relegated to like Festival in a Box kind of stuff.
That's fair. Yep, I remember that now.
Ended up being super duper popular, and they're continuing with this one. I mean, they've already announced it's going to be at every major convention that Magic is played at.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding that Magic branded conventions like MagicCon will have priority for product. So if there's a production delay for some reason, events like PAX or Gen Con or whatever may end up having a limited supply with capped events, versus a MagicCon will in theory have unlimited supply with uncapped events. I challenge them to have, quote, unlimited supply at a MagicCon.
Yeah. Those are big words.
Because I'm just thinking about like the unknown events that Gavin does, and how like literally every time the unknown events are different. The format is different, the style is different, the way you get matched up is usually the same, but it's just go find somebody.
Right.
But I'm just thinking about the two that happened in Chicago that were both 400 plus people.
Yep.
So I challenge them to run 3 to 4 of those in a weekend and not run out of product.
Yeah, first they got to get enough seating for everybody.
Yeah.
And then we can worry about card supply. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the future MagicCon maps where it's like, this is the command zone, and this is the organized play zone, and this is the free play zone, and this is the mystery booster zone.
Yeah, they are.
These tables will
popular.
be for mystery booster. And then, you get the judges, like, do you want to do main event? Do you want to do side event? Do you want to do the mystery event? Good fucking luck.
Mm-hmm.
Just stuff like that. So, yeah. But that being said, I think a mystery booster zone is way more relevant than a command zone is. So, whatever.
Sure, I could see that.
It's not like I'm on a commander adjacent podcast or anything.
Awesome. What else you got? Anything new happen?
That's it. This week in Magic was, and we complained about Secret Lairs last week, right? So I think
it all mixes together, but I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I've complained about Secret Lairs for the last 111 weeks. It doesn't really matter.
I've
No,
seen the Monty Python secret layers are starting to roll in. I've actually seen, and I know it happens quite often with secret layers, but I feel like I've seen more of them this time around. That there's been like
that come like
misprints,
bent.
and bent and
They're like
crimped, and
crimped or
oh my
bent.
god.
I mean, the people that get them crimped are like making money, but
Oh,
the people that get
that's
them
just
bent
straight
are
profit. Yeah.
losing money.
Yep. Yep. 100%. So, thought that was interesting. I don't know what that results from, but so we'll see. But I guess we'll get on to the main topic here. I don't know if we had like a super structure or anything to the main topic. I know it was just going to be like chill, talk to the chat, and talk some mystery boosters too. I guess we can kind of start with the overview. Like, it took me a while to warm up to the first mystery boosters, but I think I'm an overall fan of these types of sets. What do you think, Dave? Do you like the mystery booster type stuff?
So I've never drafted with them, which is I
Same.
think the intended goal.
Mm-hmm.
But I love the idea of them. I feel like so. I'm gonna take you on a bit of a journey here.
Oh yes, please do.
Over to my shelf.
Never drafted mystery?
I've never drafted mystery booster, but I have.
Neither of you?
I don't know if you can see.
They weren't
this,
They weren't even available in St. Louis. Like they were just sold out instantly.
A box of Ixalan. These are my prize packs from my pre-release of Bloomborough.
Nice.
And these are prize packs that we've won, that my boyfriend Blake and I have won over the last many years. We got Wilds of Eldraine, Lord of the Rings, Forgotten Realms,
Yeah.
Return to Ravnica,
Damn.
War of the Spark, Modern Horizons is in here.
Oh, money.
What's this? Guilds of Ravnica. Like, there's just dozens of like ancient sets that we've just been sort of like piling up in here because both of us are really excited about the idea of a mystery draft.
Yeah, hell yeah.
We've never actually just like made it happen.
Sure.
But we have all the tools to do it. We like the idea of like a chaos draft.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is kind of just, crazy and like nothing has synergy and there's no guiding star for what cards are supposed to work well with each other.
Right.
Like, I love the idea of that.
Yes,
but I
do too.
haven't done it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that mystery has been out for 5 years and neither of you have ever drafted it.
Haven't drafted it. It was unavailable. Like, it's sold out instantly here in St. Louis, and then my shop that I always go to just never ordered any more of it. They were like, "Fuck it, we're done."
I've never seen it at stores. Like, it's never occurred to me to like get a box.
Yep.
I didn't know where I was supposed to do that. I wasn't going to drop $300 on some kind of festival in the box thing because that's
I almost pulled the trigger on the festival in the box, but I didn't.
I will definitely agree and share with you guys that my LGS has never stocked it, but they could order it from the distributors. So whenever we wanted a mystery box, and by we I mean like my play group, and we had a pot of 8 that wanted the mystery box, we would all like pitch into the one guy on their store credit account, and then the LGS would use the store credit account to order the box, and then when it came in, they texted us and we had to draft that week.
Okay.
I mean, sometimes the LGS would be like, look, like, we called our guy and he said it's going to be sometime between 2 weeks and 10 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, okay, sure, just whenever it's in, right? Yeah. But like, I don't know how your LGSs do like store credit or ordering, or I know some stores will do like, they'll do the order and they'll just have you pay after it's in, or they'll put it down or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But no, this one LGS would literally just, we'd pool all the money on a store credit account. They would take that to pay for the single box they're ordering, and then that box would be ours.
Right.
Yeah. No.
That sounds cool. Like, I would like to do that. I don't know if my LGS.
Yeah.
And yeah, it seemed like something that was like for convention goers, and like
it was definitely
that sort of just wasn't
super available there.
Me.
Yeah.
Like, I know SCG cons all the time have Mystery Booster 1. I'll be kind of hyped if they have Mystery Booster 2 in October. But like, I know SCG cons tend to run anywhere between at least 1 to up to 4 during a weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of depends on the city and the local population size. But yeah, I still remember judging 2 Mystery Booster events simultaneously.
Oh my god!
Because here's what happened: they were planning one. They had one planned for Saturday, one planned for Sunday. Saturdays, capped out with online registration.
Sure.
Sunday had absolutely no one register. Saturday also had a line, like a if someone drops, I'll fill in, that was basically equivalent to the cap of Sunday's event.
Mm-hmm.
So they nixed the Sunday event from the schedule because it was the last draft of the day and just opened a second Saturday event that ran simultaneous with the first one. And they were like, oh, these 3 floor judges can run 2 drafts at the same time.
Sure, why not?
Ignoring the fact that these were 100-person capped events.
Wow.
Like, sure. Like, I don't think it was actually 100. It was 96, whatever that multiple of 8 is. So like literally we just sat 8s down and they drafted, and then we did the unknown style where it's like, just go find somebody else who has a mystery drafted pool and record results on a slip and hand it to a judge, and winner gets a like, it was chaos. It was.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
And, people trying to pair, people trying to collect prizes, people trying to just ask questions.
Sure. Yeah, it's kind of a
Maybe
chaotic
set
in of itself. So, yeah, I can't even imagine trying to do 2 events at once.
It is a fun event. Definitely recommend it if SCG Boston ever happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, yeah.
Now I did want to kind of move to a different topic on the mystery boosters. The first one, unless I just didn't pay a lot of attention to it, it seemed more focused on the reprints, which I know this one's big, obviously reprints as well, but like that seemed to be the main focus of the set, whereas this one is more like these throwback treatments plus reprints, plus I feel like they went a little bit harder into the playtest cards. I don't know if they just like doubled down on what it means to be a mystery booster, but it feels like everything they did in Mystery Booster 1, they like went 50% harder in this particular set.
So Mystery Booster 1, I will agree, was definitely very reprint focused, because they were doing the LOL memes of like, oh, Rhystic Study is a common and Demonic Tutor is an uncommon, and we're going to put Demonic Tutor in the uncommon slot. Like they were definitely doing that meme with the reprints, seeing how far back they could look for certain rarities and push cards down in the pack. Because if they could save a rare slot on Demonic Tutor, they'd like to do that. It was definitely about let's create a test chaos draft product and see if people like it, pushing the limits of printing power as well as reprints. I would definitely agree with that. Mystery Booster 2, I'm seeing a lot of the same thing. It's very reprint focused.
Yeah, for sure.
From what I've seen, common and uncommon wise, because for those that are unfamiliar, both Mystery Booster 1 and Mystery Booster 2 have 2 common and uncommon slots per color. Those will be the first 10 cards in your pack. I've seen some pretty heavy hitters at the common and uncommon slot. I don't think anything that's as major as $60 Demonic Tutor and uncommon, but it's still some pretty heavy hitters. A lot of $5 and $10 cards. What's different about this one is Mystery Booster 1 had a colorless slot, and then a land slot, and then a gold colored slot, and then a rare slot.
Right.
Versus for Mystery Booster 2, they've taken colorless, multicolor, and land and smushed them all together onto the same sheet. So that's gone from 363 cards down to 121. That makes room for the white border and the future frames, because they still have to have the rare slot, right?
Yep.
There's still the rare slot. It's going to have stuff in it that's cheap and stuff in it that's expensive. But when it comes to the white border and the feature frame, in the stream yesterday and in the article and kind of just in tweets, it's been very heavily hinted that those were reserved for reprinting, kind of in terms of staples and iconic cards. So like Goblin Guide is a white border card. Goblin Guide's a $2 card, but it sees a lot of play in a lot of formats.
Right.
So it's just kind of like reprinting like tournament playable things, iconic things. Basically every set that's gone for iconic has done it better than Iconic Masters did.
Yeah. And I feel like this particular Mystery Booster set hits a lot of nostalgia buttons too, as far as like they're using the avatar art and they're using, they're printing VMA cards and all that sort of stuff.
They're doing they're printing vintage Masters cards. They're printing I saw a Masters edition to Forked Lightning.
Vanguard art. Thank you, Sniff. That's what I meant. Yep, Vanguard art.
there's the Vanguard art on Legendaries, which is so. It's funny because many months, over a year ago, Gavin Verhey put on Twitter, how would you feel if we used the same card name on 2 mechanically unique cards? This was around the time of this was been 2 years ago. This was last year.
Mhm.
How would you feel if we did that? And people were like, "What do you mean using the same card name on 2 mechanically different cards, right?" And he did a little poll, and one of the options was a playtest card that comes to black border. Pick your poison is that card. Red herring is that card.
Oh, okay.
So that's that's fine. Those are the one's a playtest card that isn't tournament legal in anything, and one is a tournament legal card. That's a fine distinction.
Right.
Around the time of Baldur's Gate 2 years ago, he posed the question to Twitter: how would you feel if we used the same artwork on multiple cards? And at the time, people were thinking he was referencing the Arena Baldur's Gate, which had the mechanic where the legends could focus on a second color or something, where there were 5 different Viconias and 5 different Wilsons. It was awful, terrible mechanic.
Yes.
But
Yep.
whatever, I think it's called feature or something. And people thought that's what he was talking about, and he confirmed that is not what I'm talking about. But you'll see. And so 2 years later, here we are. And it's just, that's been in the back of my head, what the hell does he mean by using the same art on 2 different cards?
Yep.
A Vanguard artwork showing up on a legendary creature in a future frame is that. I think
pretty
that's
cool.
kind of neat, to be honest.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's very, very neat throwback, very good use of art that wouldn't otherwise get used. I think the same thing could be done for a lot of the plain artworks. They could put some of those scattered on future lands.
Sure.
Would be kind of neat to reuse that and get it more play. But I definitely wouldn't want to see the Jumpstart Terramorphic Expanse. That's a blue background with orange and green segments of land. I wouldn't want that to show up on an Evolving Wild. I would hate that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. I wouldn't want if the classic Evolving Wilds artwork to show up on a Terramorphic Expanse. That would be terrible. Those would be actively bad things for gameplay.
Right.
But I think this, Vanguard card that exists in a vacuum of 1, or maybe it sits in a cycle, is fine.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like the space for sure.
Yeah. So 2 years ago was the art question because of Baldur's Gate, and last year was the name question, I guess, because of MKM.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What do you think, Dave? How are you looking at these future frames and these white borders and the Vanguard arts and such?
So I mean, on the one hand, it's a very, very telegraphed and obvious cash grab, and on the other hand, it's working. It's working really
working
well.
so much.
I want those things.
Yeah.
Please
So I'm
give
sitting
them
here
to me.
Dave's gonna build a commander deck.
Now, do
Right. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to build anything.
Do we know if they are, as far as the Vintage Masters cards specifically go, are they? I assume they're not putting the entire set into mystery boosters, but was
No, it's
Exile just
cards.
going to be the one card, or
I
always
think so,
thought they should
because-
just release Vintage Masters as a paper product. I always thought they should just do that.
There's a thing in the way of that called the reserve list. But
yeah.
As far as we've seen, Exile is currently the only Vintage Masters card.
Yeah.
There may be another 1 or 2, but I don't expect a whole lot of them.
Okay.
Same thing with Masters Edition 2 from Magic Online, the Forked Lightning. Only one I've seen so far.
Yeah.
There may be more. Spawning Pit from the dual deck that was exclusive to Magic Online. It's escaping me. It's the dual deck that Gavin Verhey designed when he was a kid that won him some kind of prize money before he was an actual Magic designer.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like New Phyrexia versus Mirrodin Pure. Might be that. But Spawning Pit with that set symbol is coming to paper. But
I don't know what any of that means.
Obviously,
I don't
arena
actually
only
either.
cards. But something I have discovered with the number crunch and just with trends of things opening, and what's already been confirmed, those that are unfamiliar with the foiling in this set, I'm going to talk about that real quick.
Yes, please.
So in this set, there are 14 card slots that will receive no foils. That'll be the 10 common and uncommons stretched across the 5 colors. That'll be the land / colorless / multicolored slot, the rare slot. That's what, 10, 11, 12. The playtest slot and the white border slot. None of those cards will have foils from this set.
Sure.
Notably, in Mystery Booster 1, the foil was a whole slot to itself. Mystery Booster 2 does not have a foil slot. In Mystery Booster 1, there was literally slot 15 was a foil sheet. The 121 cards on that sheet did not appear anywhere else in Mystery Booster. So like Send Triplets was on that sheet. Send Triplets was in foil. Send Triplets was not on the rare sheet. In this version of Mystery Booster, they're not quite doing that. The 15th slot is the Future Frame slot. And unlike all the other card slots, which have exactly 121 cards, because cards come off the printer in sheets of 11 by 11. That's why it's 121. They put a unique card in every spot on the sheet.
Right.
The Mystery Booster 2 Future Frame slot actually has 2 sheets. 2 distinct, unique sheets. One is non-foil, one is foil.
Oh.
Between these 2 sheets, they share a little over 100 cards. So a little over 100 of the Future Frame cards will appear in both foil and non-foil. There's somewhere between 10 and 20. We don't have an exact number yet because they haven't released numbers, but this is just what number crunchers have figured out.
Right.
There's somewhere between 10 and 20 cards on the foil sheet that only appear in foil. And there's somewhere between 10 and 20 cards on the non-foil sheet that only appear in non-foil.
Mm-hmm.
For the non-foils, that's not a big deal. There will be one of those in every pack. When a pack has a foil, it will replace the regular Future Frame slot. Also, when a pack has a foil, that is a 1 in 27 chance. That is a 1.1 foil per box. That is Time Spiral Remastered levels of foiling.
That is big bucks. Big bucks.
Big bucks. Here's the bigger problem with that is, it's Time Spiral Remastered levels of printing foils. However, there will be much, much more product availability than Time Spiral Remastered. The problem comes in that it's 1 foil per box.
Right.
So, whereas there are 20 unique cards to the non-foil sheet, they'll be everywhere. The 20 unique foils will not be everywhere.
Yep.
Because you only get 1 per box.
Right.
So you would have to open, in theory, 121 boxes, minus a couple, minus like 2 or 3, wherever the math rounds out, to theoretically open 1 of every foil.
Right. That's crazy.
So,
and I know that's similar to.
I think
go ahead.
It's 4 or 6 boxes a case. I don't know if Mystery Booster gets less boxes a case. Let's just roll with 6.
Let's go with 6.
That'll be
20 cases.
21 to 22 cases
It's about
to open 1 of each foil.
$30,000. That's fine.
So, cards that have already been confirmed as foil only. Foil.
Why does Watt's
Command
booster
Tower.
value always come down to chains of Mephistopheles logic?
Right.
Yep.
Ood, it's amazing to see you in chat.
Foil, Command Tower, these cards are confirmed to be foil only. Arena Acorn cards are confirmed to be foil only.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Urza has been confirmed to be foil only. For non-foils, I believe...
Nothing is exclusive if you have blank paper and some markers.
Yeah.
That's right.
I believe that all of the online card first-time printings will be non-foil only, minus arena cards.
Sure.
So Exile, Forked Lightning, Spawning Pit, I think are part of the non-foil section of the sheet.
Like guaranteed non-foil.
Don't 100% quote me on that.
Right.
But I think they are part of the non-foil only. They might have foils, but again, it's hard to tell until we get the exact card list because you have to open 22 cases of cards to figure out what's in the set.
Right.
Which is fun. So fun. circling it all back around, it's a mess.
It
It's
is
a hot mess.
It is a mess.
I really wish they would have just been like, yeah, the 121 cards we picked for the future frame are the foils.
Right.
And one pack in a box will replace a non-foil with a foil on the future frame sheet. I wish they just left it at that.
And that's how I feel like
this
this set is so particularly chaotic because it goes so many levels of chaos deep. You know, it's not just on the surface. It's not just with the cards they chose, but it's multiple levels.
Do you want another level?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Another level. So all of the cards that are being lifted from online sets, Spawning Pit, Forked Lightning,
Exile,
and Arena cards, do not have a Planeswalker symbol in the bottom left.
Why?
Neat.
Because they're being treated because those cards are being printed on the future frame sheet.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And the future frames and the whiteboarders don't have Planeswalker symbols.
Right.
Yep.
Huh. Well, on that, Dave,
it's great.
I'm going to turn it to you. I actually have a two-part question concerning mystery boosters and Alcadron's feelings therein. First question.
I'm an expert on those.
Okay. Expert on your feelings. I love it. First one. How do you feel about the question mark set symbol? And two, or B, whichever, you, much like myself, are a lover of old white-bordered cards. Revised, unlimited, yada, yada, yada. Why did they screw up this white border? But why did they white border the modern frame and not just...
Oh, you want the white border cards to all be old frame?
Yes.
That would be better.
That would be much better.
Yeah. The ideal days is one that has a white border and an old frame.
Right.
That's ideal. Having the white border on the new frame is a little weird. Like, I don't dislike the new frame. I think it's weird that it doesn't wrap around the bottom of the card. That just has always felt a little strange to me.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Bye. Stein, question mark set symbol feels like something I'd see in a proxy marker tools. Yeah?
It does. It does.
Yeah.
Like a custom, yeah.
What are you talking about? The whiteboard doesn't go around the bottom of the cards. It does go around the bottom of the card.
I feel like it's weird that it does.
Didn't it do that with old whiteboarders?
Sorry. I meant the frame. The frame doesn't wrap around the bottom. Like the days that's currently on the screen right now, like the blue goes down the sides and then the blue doesn't go across the bottom.
That's where the blue ends on the 2015 frame.
Yes, I'm aware.
Right.
I think it's weird.
Yeah, it's awkward.
Sure.
And
they probably could have modified the frame to
strongly amplified by the white borderness here.
Yes.
Sure.
Yep.
I feel like they probably could have modified the frame, keeping with the 2015 style, just bringing the texture down
a little further or something. It's just that giant blob of white at the bottom just throws me. And I love white borders, but that's a lot.
The white border right next to the very pale text box with like basically nothing in between, that's what feels weird to me.
Yep. At least on traditional white borders, there's usually like a sliver of color.
Two bad design choices just compound on one another.
What's really you want to talk about compounding? What's really cursed is if you look at the Comet or the Euro, whatever, with the Legend frame, just the Legend crown is super cursed on the white border.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I kind of don't care about.
See, and then you got the hollow stamp on the white border. Like, it's a whole thing.
Yeah, I can't stand that.
Yeah. Choices were made.
Two wrongs don't make a right. No, I mean, I think it's super cool that we have white borders again.
Yes.
I'm excited that they exist. I think these are categorically lesser white borders. Like, this has nothing unrevised. 4th edition remains the reigning champion of all things white bordered. But like, it's cool. Like, I'll take these over nothing.
Sure. Yeah, it's just they're a little jarring. I just wanted to get your opinion on them. I'm kind of torn. Like I'm slowly coming around, like most new sets. At first they come out and I'm like, and then like I slowly come around to them. So these are okay. They're not as bad. But man, when I first saw them, it was like I thought it was a personal attack. Like it was. But no, they're okay. I wish they would have done a little bit different with the border, but it's all right. It's all right.
Yeah.
Well, cool. I think we got the superficial stuff out of the way. Talked about some cards, some frames, some set symbols. Liam, I think Liam's the only one that actually sort of prepared to build a deck or theorize around a particular commander. Do
I
you
didn't
want
prepare at all. I just said I was going to build it.
to? Well, at least you have one in mind, at least for sure. Do you wanna tell us what card it is? I'll throw it up on screen and we'll get the ball rolling.
Sure. I guess I'm at this time going to be building Oracle of the Alpha.
Bam. On screen now, Oracle of the Alpha.
Yeah, so Oracle of the Alpha is a 2 and a blue for a 2/3 bird wizard with flying. When it enters the battlefield, you conjure the power 9 into your library, then shuffle. And whenever it attacks, you scry one. Notably, conjure is a arena only mechanic where you literally create the card out of thin air and then do with it what conjure tells you to.
Right.
Sometimes it's being shuffled in your library, sometimes it's being put into your hand, sometimes it's being put into the battlefield or the graveyard. So yeah, we're gonna build Oracle of the Alpha. I don't know what we're gonna do with it, because to be honest, conjuring the power 9 into your library doesn't seem that great.
Yeah.
Maybe
There's
flicker it a couple times. But I mean, yeah, when time twist to it's great. But I'm just thinking about like top decking a Mox. I'm just like, okay, it's an extra land drop.
There's also the red version, Taralf's Disciple, the 3-mana 3/3 with haste, and when it attacks, you conjure four cards named a lightning bolt into your library.
Put lightning bolts into your deck.
Yep.
That one seems
Yeah.
like more fun.
That's
honestly.
hilarious. Yep.
I think after turn 3, I think that Lightning Bolt is a better card than any of the Power 9. And this one gives you
Hey, I agree.
those Lightning Bolts every turn.
All the bolts. That's right. Yeah, that's funny.
It's an attack trigger to put 4 lightning bolts in your deck, which is like, it's good, but like red doesn't draw cards like blue does. So you're just gonna end up with just 50 million lightning bolts in your deck.
Yes.
And nothing else.
That's the goal.
That's the goal.
Mission accomplished.
Well, there's also the
Nailed
black
it.
one that's
Is that
pretty
are
fun,
you just
too.
gonna run 99 mountains?
Just-
Is that all you're gonna do?
Yes.
You could, yeah. I didn't even think
Sorry,
about that strategy.
98
Like,
mountains.
You just,
An actual lightning bolt.
I mean,
Commander.
I probably run every single card in red that says discard a card, draw 2.
sure.
Fair
Mhm.
enough.
Every possible effect.
You
Fair
make
enough.
you make lightning bolts on a copy token? No, you just get your big stack of 50 lightning bolts and you shuffle them in.
Yeah, you literally
we're not,
go
We're not
grab
using copy tokens.
lightning bolts out of your bulk box, put them in the same color sleeve, and put them in your deck.
I'm probably gonna take
Impulse
the,
draws great in a bolt deck. Yeah,
Sure.
Ren's Resolve, reckless
take the
impulse.
magic backed MDFC cards, and those are my lightning bolts. So whenever those are in hand, lightning bolt's easy to remember. It's red, deal
Yeah.
3 damage. Like
Bingo.
draw that's lightning bolt,
Yep.
easy. And then when I cast it, goes to the graveyard. I mean, this is gonna break some rules here, but I cast it, goes to the graveyard because it is an actual card,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
Next time I shuffle 4 and I'm out of cards, I can just pull them from my graveyard and shuffle them into the library. You didn't hear that. They still count as being in the graveyard for instant sorcery counts if it's relevant, but I don't think it'll be relevant since we're just running draw spells.
And I wish there is a black one sort of in the same cycle. I wish it was a creature, but it's an enchantment. It's the colorless and 2 black for an enchantment called Sanguine Brushstroke. When it enters the battlefield, create a blood token and conjure a card named Blood Artist onto the battlefield. And then when you sacrifice a blood token, each opponent loses 1 life, you gain 1 life. Like, that sounds hella fun. Like, Blood Artist is already a legal commander. So seems alright. But yeah, those are the 3 conjure ones we got.
I think
I'm
the
not
red one is
gonna
the
lie. I legitimately like laughed out loud on the couch when I saw the Oracle of the Alpha with the mystery symbol and an acorn stamp on it.
Yep.
I was like, "Yep, this is how they do it." And what really irritates me is the day before my big LGS group chat with like 20 people in it. We're having a big argument about like how they would print mechanically identical arena cards to paper because the Mardu Outrider had been spoiled, which is the 3-mana 5/5 additional cost discard a card.
Right.
So they were like, "Oh, well, that's easy. That fits Magic mechanics." But how do we get like Conjure and Seek into paper? And they were like arguing about how they would do it. I'm like, guys, they just wouldn't do it.
Right.
But you know, they were arguing, you know, how they could get the cards.
Is what you were thinking of earlier. Specialize. It just came to me.
Specialize. Thank you. You know, how could they do intensity? And, you know, that would just be rewording it to be experience instead or something. Like,
Sure.
You know, just basically creating new cards, but with arena mechanics in really shitty ways. And I was like, guys, they just wouldn't do it. Like, they would never do it. And they're like, it's Mystery Booster. You never know. I'm like, no, they're just not going to. And then, like, less than 24 hours later, this Oracle of the Alpha.
Here's
and
an
I
acorn.
posted to the group chat, and I was like, look, guys, I concede. I don't even know anymore. Like, I just work here sometimes.
Yeah,
just don't even at me.
That really,
like,
it didn't even. I don't know if it's the arena mechanic making its way into Mystery Booster or the acorn symbol making its way, but one of the two really threw me off when this one was spoiled. Like, we already had the retro frame or the white border frames, the future frames, the this, the that, the everything, the Vanguard art, and all of a sudden they're like,
here's an uncard too, just like an honorary uncard just for you.
Yep, exactly.
Like,
maybe
understand.
Mystery Boosters are just what unsets should have been the whole time.
See, it's weird because Silver Border has been used on things beyond Silver Border cards. It's been used on promos, right? It was used on the Pony promos. It was used on holiday promos for years. And they switched to the Acorn symbol 2 years ago. And, you know, the holiday promos switched to Acorns and the Ponies switched to Acorns. And, you know, it's just a hot mess.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to lie, like, the Acorn symbol is still so jarring.
It is.
Because I see a black border card, but it's not legal. And I feel like the arena cards would look better in silver border. Because it's just so easy to tell my brain this is a fake card.
Yeah, this is, you know, even the silver sort of represents digital. Like, it would make more sense to me as well. Yeah.
And it's just, I just don't get it.
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
Oh, it's pretty funny, though.
It's whatever. I don't make the rules. I just sometimes work for them.
You just know the
on
rules.
A temporary
you don't make the
weekend
rules.
basis.
You just know them.
I just know them. But you know, it was so jarring to just see an arena card in paper with an acorn symbol. I was like, no, please, no, just don't. And then I'm sitting here like, how the hell, like, are people gonna conjure the power 9 into their draft deck? Yep. I don't like. Don't at me with this, please. Just go away. Like, I'm gonna have to carry so many of the MDFC copy tokens.
And you know, at least at every single convention where there's a mystery draft, there's going to be some baller that rolls up with his binder of Power 9 and just does nothing but tries to draft this card so he can flex on the table.
Right.
That is not
amazing.
me. I'll show up with a stack of lightning bolts.
We're going to get a Power 9 around here.
Yeah. Oh, hilarious. So are you actually like actively interested in building something like this for a Rule 0 type PDH deck, or is this one just caught your attention like because of what it is?
Mainly a joke because it caught my attention.
Yeah.
I have absolutely zero desire to build this in paper, and less so now that I know it's on the foil only part of the sheet. It could be, you know, $100.
Yep. Yep.
If it's that cheap.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. It's only going to be foil.
You know, even though it is an acorn card, it is on the foil only part of the sheet. You need to theoretically open 22 cases before you run into the first one.
Mm-hmm.
It's just...
That's fine.
It's
fine.
It's not okay. It's not okay is what it is.
Not
like,
okay at all.
I just know this card is going to be like $1 billion, and then Torov's Disciple is going to be like 7.
Yep.
Brownie's talking about forgetting to take out the conjured copies out.
Yeah.
Guys,
I just
sorry. That's what I'm thinking. If I built this lightning bolt conjure guy, I think when you build the deck, you put in 0 lightning bolts instead of 1 lightning bolt, so that in between games you just take out all the lightning bolts instead of taking out all but one.
Just to make sure you got them all.
Or maybe you just have like 1 foil bolt.
Yeah, like one completely unique bolt compared to the rest.
I feel like the Torolfs needs to be a pals deck where they just never take the lightning bolts out.
It just keeps growing and growing and growing.
Where they just like they do with the stickers.
Every game it just gets bigger.
Here's my 400 card Torolf deck. Good luck. Oh,
Then
that's pretty
it
hilarious.
really will be like 80 mountains.
Yeah.
Every discard 1, draw 2, and every impulse draw.
Yep.
Yeah, because the first couple games will be rough, but after that it'll be okay.
Yes.
Yep.
I think around the time you get to like game 12 or 13, you might just have to eject all the bolts out of the deck because it just won't be playable. You'll just have hand after hand of just 7 lightning bolts and no mountains in sight.
Yep. Yeah, eventually you would find no lands. You have to keep adjusting the land count.
I feel like 2 of the cards you have to include are the Kohala Swine and like the indestructible equipment.
Sure.
Just so the swine can't die.
Just mowing down the table.
Indestructible
9 life at a time.
equipment.
That's right, Jack.
Is that not a common?
That's right, Sniff. A 400 card deck and only 10% lands. Let's do it. They're all one drops. It'll be fine.
Do you think that there's a common equipment that grants a creature indestructible that isn't Bladed Battle Fan?
Isn't there like an axe? No, the axe has indestructible.
The axe itself is indestructible.
My bad.
Yeah.
There's a Darksteel axe.
My bad. That's what I was thinking about. The axe has indestructible.
Mm.
Well, there's got to be a way to give something indestructible, right?
Not in red.
Not in red. It's all
Are you
black
sure
and
about
white.
that?
Yep.
It's all black and white.
There's no gray. It's all black and white.
Indestructible. Well, if you turn the swine into a land, you could enchant it with crackling emotions.
And then you can't target it with lightning bolt.
No, because crackling emotions
Oh,
makes it
you
a
said
3/3
crackling
red spirit
emergence.
creature.
I thought,
Yeah.
for some reason, I thought you meant the fortification.
No.
I was like, that's also not common. That
Yeah, you
doesn't
could do
make any sense.
slagworm armor. It'll get you a
Slag?
couple bolts a turn.
I'd be okay with that.
Sure.
Just
Pals
with 2 bolts a turn,
cannot
'cause
be
it's an
trusted with
instant,
indestructible damage hog.
No, I
True.
wouldn't trust him. No.
Torolf is the storm god in Kaldheim. His disciples make bolts. Yes, it's true.
Beautiful. There will be many bolts to go around. There's also I don't know if you guys saw
What's
this
the
one.
cheapest printing of bolts? So when you're buying 50 of them.
The playtest card Jundam Out. Have you seen that one, Dave?
I did, yeah.
It's hilarious.
You get
Costs
lightnings and bloodbraid elves.
Yeah, you get you make a copy of the chosen card, cast it without paying its mana
Yeah.
cost. Abrupt Decay, Lightning, Bloodbraid Elf, Lightning Bolt, Liliana of the Veil, and Tarmogoyf.
Yeah.
Hilarious. With retrace.
And it has retrace.
Sorry,
so
no
you can
room
just
for
do
reminder
that.
text.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like the cheapest printing of Lightning Bolt might be that awful Baldur's Gate showcase.
Oh, the
Which
player's
is
manual.
fine.
One?
Yeah, which is fine because it's a pretty clean copy. It doesn't have reminder text or flavor text, but B, it'd be super easy to pull out of the deck.
Yeah, you'd see it
yeah.
right away. Yeah.
I mean, I've got a big stack of bolts, so I would.
Not
I would
everyone
just use those.
has,
Yeah, I got a ton of
has
lightning bolts
a
left
stack.
over
I
from
mean, I
my
have like
60
12,
card pauper days.
but like, not everyone has a billion.
I think I probably have
Sounds like a skill issue.
24, I think. Last
Sounds
I
like
counted,
I've not been playing the
24.
game for 30 plus years.
Like I said, skill issue.
I can attack with Torolf 6 times, and I'll be okay. I feel like there was... that's what I meant to ask you. I should ask this when we were talking about the grand overview of mystery boosters. I don't remember the first one all that well. Did we get any meaningful downshifts to Pauper Commander in first mystery booster?
There was no rarity shifting. There was no
Okay.
rarity
No.
shifting in
It was
mystery.
just reprints.
Because-
It was only reprints.
because-
straight reprints.
Yeah, mystery was they literally lifted the card file out of all the old sets, slapped a Planeswalker stamp on it, and called it a day.
Okay.
There was no rarity shifting in Mystery Booster 1. Mystery Booster 2, I have no idea.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to see.
It's still all reprints, but it's White Border and White Border and Future Frame.
Mm-hmm.
I don't foresee any rarity shifting because rarity doesn't matter in this set. Every card has an equal chance of being pulled. Every sheet has 121 cards in it. So I would foresee them just using whatever the last rarity of the card was. Whatever the last pack rarity of the card is, that's what they will use.
Like the most recent printed rarity that was in a pack or whatever?
Yeah, that would be my guess. Now, I'm going to be immediately disproven by the Wasteland they printed an uncommon. Which has been a rare and a mythic forever. I think the only place it's ever been an uncommon is Magic Online. So, maybe there's a shift somewhere, maybe. But I don't foresee a whole lot, if any, happen.
Yeah, that's fair.
I 100% don't see any common downshifts. Maybe there's a creature that just gets an uncommon symbol slapped on it. Maybe.
I know that playtest cards do not have rarities.
Right.
Correct.
So
I think
if you want to use any of them as your commander, you have to. That's always a rule zero discussion every time.
Yep.
Yeah. I think Scryfall just assigns all the playtest cards the rare rarity because the way their database works and the keys they have to assign a card a rarity. But I think they just assign it rare, but they have an equal chance of everything. So, yeah, rarities in this set don't mean anything.
Right. That's interesting.
Except for when they print a card from an online set with a common set symbol. That means something.
Yeah. Yeah, I was pretty stoked to see the Exile printed, the VMA.
Yeah.
That was really cool. Really cool. And since I never did draft the first mystery boosters, the playtest cards are part of the draft environment, right? You get them and they just do whatever the card says.
So in Mystery Booster 1 Convention Edition, they had the playtest cards. In Mystery Booster 1 Retail Edition, they did not have playtest cards. I can't remember.
Okay.
No, they did have the playtest cards. What did they take out? They took out...
I forgot there was a retail edition and a convention edition. Yep.
The trick with Mystery Booster 1 is there were 3 printings of it.
Mm-hmm.
There's the Convention Edition 1, the Convention Edition 2, and then the Retail Edition.
Yes.
The Convention Edition 1 is 2019, and the Convention Edition 2 is 2021. You can tell which one it is by looking at the bottom of the box, whatever the copyright date on the box is.
Well, there must have been playtest cards in the Retail Edition, because I did manage to buy one pack, and I got that Barry's Land or whatever playtest card that was.
Fairfield in the chat saving me. Retail did not have playtest cards.
Well, I got
stores could buy convention editions if they bought them through like Festival in a Box.
Okay.
If a store bought a Festival in a Box, they could buy the convention edition that way.
Because I did crack a playtest card, but I don't remember where I got the pack from.
Yeah, because I had to think about it because I was like I remember the judge community being like, please don't ever sell this in stores because of the playtest. And then they were like, don't worry, if we sell it in stores, we're going to remove the playtest. And then the players were very upset about that, but judges were like, thank God.
Thank God. Sure.
But I do remember that all of Mystery Booster 1, the playtest cards have 2 versions. One without a Planeswalker stamp and one with a Planeswalker stamp.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's the one without that's more expensive. Somebody save me on this. No, it's the one with the Planeswalker stamp. So the Mystery Booster 1 playtest cards with a Planeswalker stamp come from the 2019 edition. The ones without the Planeswalker stamp come from the 2021 edition. And the 2019 edition was printed much less than the 2021. Yeah. The only cards this matters for are the playtest cards. Sure. Because whether it was 2019 or 2021, all the other 14 slots had a Planeswalker symbol on the card. So Mystery Booster 1, whether it's 2019 or 2021, every other card in the set does not matter which printing it comes from, it's worth the same. Because it'd be the same thing as Ikoria first print run versus Ikoria second print run. There's no distinction.
Sure.
Yep. Versus they actually just distinctly identified the playtest cards. I think because when they first announced it, they announced that it was going to be like it was a super big print run, but it was limited to that, and when it was out, it was out, and then people were very upset about that, and then they printed it into oblivion.
Right.
So the 2019 edition just happens to have a small distinction that makes those cards more expensive. But what's funny to me is people complain about the Planeswalker stamp. So like, how is this the exception?
Right.
I know there were some playtest cards got new art in the 2021 edition. In the 2021 edition, they did swap out some of the playtest cards. Like they took some out and put different ones in.
Yeah.
It wasn't that big a deal, but it was like half a dozen cards.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I recently discovered a card from 1997, I think, where there was a promo version of the card, and then there was a in the set normal version of the card. And as far as I can tell, the only difference between the two cards, like there's no extra symbols, there's no different symbols, there's no different coloring. The only difference between the cards is that two of the words in the flavor text are capitalized in one and not in the other. And I've had a bunch of these cards in my collection for 3 decades.
Right.
And I only just discovered that they're different. Like 2 days ago.
This is like the
Fantastic.
Arabian Nights with the dark set symbols versus the regular set symbols. Or the mana symbols. Dark mana symbols versus regular set symbols.
This card is from Visions, but yeah, it's like that.
Yeah.
Now, I was kind of curious. I don't remember if we talked about it last time or with any other sets. I know, Dave, your dad's a big collector of Magic cards. Did I make this up, or did you say he pretty much only collects certain sets, or does he collect everything that sort of comes out? Like, how does a collector like that? Because I don't know any hardcore collectors like in person or in real life. Like, how does a hardcore collector like that handle a mystery booster type product?
He ignores it.
Okay.
They ignore it.
There we go.
Yeah, my father has for as long as Magic has been in existence, my father has only collected standard legal sets.
Standard legal. There we
So
go.
when they started doing, Commander product, like, well, I guess when they started dual decks, he bought all the dual decks.
Yeah, because they're
So
awesome.
he has the original, Slivers deck, has all the, Angels versus Demons, like he's got all those in a box somewhere. We play with them sometimes for old time's sake. But like when they started doing Commander product, like I think Commander 2011 was when he was like, that was the first time he was like, that product is not for me. I'm not interested. I'm going to pass on that one. And then, ever since then they've done, stuff, the weird stuff, the Modern Horizons, the Battle Bonds, the, all of the, before Modern Horizons, what were they doing? Modern
Masters
sets. Yeah, Master sets.
My dad bought a box of each of the Modern Masters sets so that he could draft them. And then we ended up never drafting them. Like he's just got a box of each of those things still shrink wrapped in his closet somewhere.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's going to like sell it.
Sure, sure.
I think someday he's just gonna pop the shrink wrap and draft it.
Yeah,
maybe. I don't know, but like it's there. So if I go to him and tell him like here's this supplemental set that I think was like remarkably fun, like you should get a box so that you can draft it sometime, like he'll do that.
Sure.
He's not like opposed to buying it, but it'll just be this is a thing I'm doing for fun as a draft kind of, I'll get a box of it.
Right.
It's not something that he'll like pursue, putting together a complete set of.
Okay, that makes sense.
I think the only non-standard set he's put together a set of is Lord of the Rings because that's like his favorite book.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like he read that to my brother and I when we were like 5 years old, and then again when we were like 9. Like that was like our bedtime story.
Yeah.
For months at a time.
Yep.
So like, yeah, we all had a really good time with Lord of the Rings, but yeah, mostly. In terms of collections, he is standard sets only.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. I swore I remembered you saying something like that, but I couldn't totally remember. I've just never Heck, in probably the last 20 years or so, I haven't met an actual like hardcore collector of the game. So I wasn't sure like how how in shambles they all are with stuff like this.
Yeah, my dad is very, very explicitly not in shambles because he is
That's good.
a lot less hardcore
Yeah.
than this.
Yeah.
He also doesn't do any secret. Well, he doesn't do any secret layers himself. I will occasionally buy him a secret layer as a gift.
Yep.
But like he's always very surprised to receive that gift because he didn't know that secret layer existed before opened it. So
Hell, that's how I feel about secret layers all the time, and we talk about them every week.
yep.
I only know they existed when somebody cracks them and posts pictures online. I'm like, oh, I might have been interested in that one. But yeah, back to mystery boosters. I don't know. What else did you guys want to talk about as far as the set goes? Or anything that piqued your interest? I do really enjoy I guess they're past frames now, but the future frames. The different types of treatments. I like that they're going aesthetically different in this set as opposed to just like here's another mana vault.
So, I as much as the whiteboarders are cursed, as much as I don't like whiteboard, I like the idea of them where they're printing iconic tournament, legal tournament, playable cards in whiteboarder to satisfy some fans. I wish they didn't do that with the future frames as well, like Soul Ring and Swords to Plowshares. Those are cards that have been in the game since the beginning of the game.
Right.
I don't. The whiteboarder frame has the pretense of this is a reprint. Okay. The future frame has the pretense of this is a future mechanic. I think what I would have rather seen is more future sight cards. Like actual future sight cards, like brand new designs brought to the future frame. Or cards that pushed the limits of design when they were released. Cards that had articles written about them. When they do those Making Magic articles, and they're like, oh yeah, an Underworld Breach, that's a whole different article. Like, Underworld Breach as a future frame is fantastic because it pushed a lot of design space and it pushed the rules a lot.
And like Gush had a whole book written about it.
Right. I think, picking one mutate card would have been fine for the future frame. But
Liam, are you familiar with the card Fomori Nomad?
Called what?
Fomori Nomad.
How you spell it?
I think I am. It's a vanilla creature, right?
Fomori.
It's a vanilla creature, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you might be putting a little too much stock in the whole future frame thing. Like, a lot of the future sight cards were like, this is a crazy new thing that may or may not exist at some point in Magic's future, maybe, but like, a bunch of the future frame cards were just nothing. Like, this is a big nothing burger. Like, I think it's a really cool stylistic shift, and I'm super fine with there being like new cards that can look like that. I think that's I'm hype about it. Again, I think like on some level this is just categorically like a shameless cash grab from Wizards. Like someone out there who already has 23 different Soul Rings is going to think, there's a new Soul Ring, I need to buy that one. And they're either going to buy a box of the set or they're going to like, just throw enough money at the secondary market that like other, vendors are going to buy 10 boxes and crack them open because the value is going to be there. And like, That's great. Good for Wizards. I love that for them. I need them to stay in business so that they can keep making this game I love.
Yes.
I don't need future sight Soul Rings, but like someone else does, and that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't know. I know your example of Fomori Nomad, but at the time that Future Sight was released, every card on that sheet had something about it that was abnormal for Magic design at the time. All the vanilla creatures pushed design space in terms of power and toughness at common.
No, they didn't.
At common.
Can I tell you
They
about
ha-
a card called
at-
Dirkwood Boars?
What is Darkwood Boars?
Dirkwood Boars is a card from Alpha that is the exact same card as Fomori Nomad.
Is it a common or is it an uncommon?
It's common.
Yep. 5 mana green 4/4
Darkwood
creature boar.
Okay,
With
5
a
mana
Bible
4/4
quote on
in
it.
green.
Spicy.
5 mana 4/4 in green. We're talking about a 5 mana
You're gonna
4/4
tell me
in red.
that the 5-mana 4/4 in red is a different pushed thing?
Yes. Because up until Theros Beyond Death, they didn't allow 3/1s at common in white.
A 3/1 for 2 is very different from a 4/4 for 5.
Yeah. So at the time of Future Sight, I'm not talking about now, because now these cards are laughable. At the time in Future Sight, every card on that sheet pushed design in some way. Even the vanilla commons did. Because the power
I
and
disagree.
toughness. I'm going to go find the Making and Magic article about this, and then I'm going to show it to you.
Okay. Shout out to the Bible quotes. Heck yeah, Springer.
Yep. I didn't realize there
Yeah,
was a
no,
Bible quote on that.
I think that I don't think that future frame cards need to be locked exclusively behind things that were like really game shattering or massive changes or shifts in any big way. I like that it's just a new treatment that is going to drive people to buy the game and play with cards. Yeah, I think it's going to be. I think it's fine. I think that a lot of people are going to love it. I think that this set has very, very little for me. If I end up finding a box at some point that I can grab and just end up tossing on my shelf full of
Sure.
things that I will draft someday eventually, when my friends are more available and actually come over and drink my booze and draft my cards.
Yep.
Call back to that, to the start of the stream when we talked about sleepover at Alex's place.
Hell yeah.
That's you. It's all of
That's
you.
everybody.
Yeah, I might buy a box, but like I'm not gonna buy singles. I think that overwhelming in the grand scheme of things, I think this is gonna have a very minor impact on my Magic playing priorities and career, and I think that that's good.
I think it's fantastic. Like,
because
we got mystery
so
boosters.
many
We just had
things
Bloomburrow.
have
Like, there's
happened
just
at me.
yeah. Well, there's so many. Not so many. Like, it's nice to have 1 or 2 sets in a row, even if one of them is supplemental and fun or whatever, that just don't have a lot for our format. Like, I'm still backed up, like trying to pick up, Lost Caverns cards for decks. Like, I just have a list for every deck that just keeps getting longer of cards that I just haven't had time to pick up yet. So it's nice to like look at cards as a spectator, not as an active like participator.
All right, so you ready?
Yeah, let's do it. What do we got?
On August 3rd, 2020.
Okay.
For Blade of the Sixth Pride, this was the first 3/1 for 1 white, and that combination has gone on to become a staple in Magic. The actual card, though, hasn't seen a reprint yet because we haven't come to a world where that name makes sense. This will be a recurring theme in this and following columns, so while we still do a vanilla 3/1 for 1 white, we've started making cards that add abilities to it.
Mm-hmm.
Blind Phantasm. This card hasn't been reprinted for a different reason. The name's vague enough to fit on most worlds, but it turns out a 2/3 for 2 blue has no room for other abilities on it, so we do a lot of 2 blue, 2/3 cards, but always with additional rules text. Massive Ghouls. This card did see a reprint in 10th edition. Conceptually, it was a little paradoxical as that core set only had reprints in it. The following core set, Magic 2010, would introduce new cards in a non-alpha beta core set. It's possible I shouldn't count it, but it was in a premiere set, so I am. For Mori Nomad, this card was quirky in the fact that a 4/4 for 4 red vanilla creature did pre-exist the set, but it was in Portal's second age, which at the time wasn't legal in Vintage and Legacy. Also, the non-vanilla 2-headed Giant of Forest was an alpha, which is a 4 red 4/4 with trample. These vanilla stats did see printing, but with another name on Bonebreaker Giant in Magic 2012, which is a 4 red 4/4. But this exact card has never been reprinted. While the name requires some support from the world, the bigger issue is, like Blind Phantasm, R&D is just willing to make 4 red 4/4s with extra rules text. Nessie Corsa had a problem that, as you'll see in future columns, is that in order for us to reprint a future-shifted card, we had to guess right on both the mechanics and the flavor. The right mechanic tied to the wrong flavor, or vice versa, and has sunk many a reprint for this card. Here's one where we got it right, where the two matched up. Being a vanilla creature helped a lot. The creative hinted at Greek mythology-inspired worlds, so when we did Theros, we made sure to include it. Reprint chances, Massive Ghouls and Nessie Corsa have already been reprinted. Blade of the Sixth Pride is likely, and Blind Phantasm and Fomori no matter unlikely.
So, is you reading the entire text of an article that briefly mentions the first inclusion of a two mana 3/1, and then goes on to talk about the rest of them having been reprinted or not? Is that the slam dunk you thought it was? That was about where and when they've been reprinted. The only thing about the uniqueness of those stat lines...
At the time of printing, that card was quirky. I just wanted to cover all 5 vanilla comments.
Nothing is mechanically quirky about a 5-mana 4/4.
It's the design space is not usable.
That is such a colossal stretch, Liam. I'm not buying it.
Look, it's coming from Mark Rosewater directly, so... I'll put it in chat so people can read the rest of the article.
All right.
But no, it's every card on that sheet had something quirky about it. Now, not everything is as quirky as Gravestorm or Aura Swap. Sometimes it's just, hey, we don't do 2-mana 3/1s at vanilla white in common. That's just not a thing we do. Until January 2020 when it was a thing they did.
Right.
No, I think Sir Raphael nailed it. I think the uniqueness of those 5 vanilla creatures was that they were textless. Like the thing that separates Fomori Nomad from Bonebreaker Giant is that
literally not what Mark Rosewater said, but okay.
Mark Rosewater said that the white one was unique. And then he said that like the rest of them, he talked about when they got reprinted.
Yeah, because that article was written a decade after they released.
Sure, but he didn't say anything about Fomori Nomad being like mechanically unique at the time. There was nothing in there about 5-mana 4/4s being like quirky.
The quirky nature was that there was a version of the card that wasn't Legacy or Vintage legal, so they printed it so it would be, but also that it was strictly worse designed. But also that it was strictly worse design. But also that it was strictly worse design space than what they usually work in.
That still sounds like trivia. I think Mark Rosewater's justifications there are extremely flimsy. Looking back at that set from. What is that? 16 years later. I don't think that there's anything meaningfully quirky about those cards. I don't think that there's anything sacred about the feature site.
Quirk to it.
I don't think that there's anything
Sol Ring has
meaningfully quirky about those. To it. I don't think there's anything sacred about the future site frame. I think you can throw that on anything.
No.
Yes, Robert Morrow loves his unsets, but they've been pretty much categorically, unequivocally banned from Magic Design, as far as I understand it. They're done with them, at least for the time being, for the foreseeable future, because of their lack of success. But
I'm quirky and not like the other cards.
But see, like that's what I was saying. I feel like the mystery boosters could have just been like unsets could have just been what mystery boosters are. You know, like they could have added in the awesome lands, the cool this, the cool that, but then like just had a giant set of reprints that are. You can make them loosely thematically tied together, you know, but I feel like this is what an unset should have been the entire time, in my opinion. Because I don't know, I just didn't, not to get on a whole unset thing, but they were cool. Like I liked the novelty of them, but I don't know. They definitely of all the products that I put in the category of not for me. The unsets were definitely it. Obviously I play my stupid stickers and my stupid attractions and this and that, but that's as far as my unset involvement goes. And to that, I was going to actually talk about, I feel like the first Mystery Booster set, we had all the playtest cards, obviously. And I feel like the playtest cards in Mystery Booster 1 were actual like playtest cards that they felt were funny enough or cool enough or good enough to like bring out to the mass public. It was the first time they ever did something like that. here's what they actually look like. Here's some cards we've thought about doing that are never going to get made or what have you. But I feel like the playtest cards in Mystery Boosters 2 are just memes.
A lot of them, yeah.
Like
So many of them are memes.
Like I liked the
So many of
playtest
them.
cards better when I thought, wow, they actually were thinking about printing this card at one point. This card may be a future Magic card. Look how crazy it is. But now it's like, oh, here's Indicate. That's cool. Like, I don't know. It bugs me a little bit. The whole playtest card thing.
I don't know. A lot of them are memes, but some of them, when you remove the name and you remove the artwork that's tied to the name, and you just look at the actual card design, some of them are actually neat. One that's a big meme that I'm gonna point out that's actually just really neat design is Avacyn's collar, the symbol of her church. It's 1 and a white for, well, Brad finds it. It's 1 and a white for an artifact equipment. The equipped creature can't attack, block, or transform, and its activated abilities can't be activated. And it has Shackle for 3 mana, which is attached to target creature you don't control. And Shackle is sorcery. I think this card, as 1 and a white for equipped creature can't attack, block, and its activated abilities can't be activated with a Shackle cost, could actually be really neat design space.
Absolutely.
Get rid of the I think the Or Transform is on there because it's Avacyn's collar and that's the meme.
Sure.
But I feel like you get rid of that, and this is a fairly decent card, probably a rare, but
So
it.
I think in order for this card to be, I think as written, this is a common because it's 5 mana sorcery speed removal. If it auto equipped when it came in, then it could be uncommon, and then you moved it for 3. But right now, you play it for 3 and then activate, or play it for 2, activate for 3. That's a bad rate. I just want to point out we do have an equipment that attaches itself to opponent's creatures. It's the Bloodthirsty Blade.
Blade.
Yeah. So this is design space that has been briefly explored before, and it's dope. And I would love to see more in that space if we turned that ability into a keyword called Shackle and then use that more. I think it would be sweet.
What is
Cranial
I think that'd
Collar?
be a reasonable functional errata for Bloodthirsty Blade to just give it Shackle 1.
Bloodthirsty Blade. Bada boom, bada bing.
That's the one.
Yep.
But the fact that literally Bloodthirsty Blade, its ability is word for word what Avacyn's collar is.
Yeah.
Right. I think that. Yeah.
Yep.
I think that Shackle could be a keyword coming up.
Right. And
that would be sweet.
Those are the types of playtest cards that I enjoy. Ooh, are we getting this in the future? This is cool. It looks like they actually designed it, whereas they didn't just go on Twitter and print off a meme and slap it on a card,
Right, the name and the art and the
exactly.
Or Transform are definitely a meme, but you drop the Or Transform and then you rename it. It's a super playable card.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
And maybe the Or Transform would be relevant if they do that again, but who knows?
Springer wants to talk about the
spaceship.
What spaceship?
The spaceship.
Spaceship.
Is it on Scryfall? I don't see it on Scryfall.
Boo.
Is it on Mythic Spoiler?
I think it's a 6 mana 0/0. It comes into play with 6 counters.
Yep.
And it it loses counters instead of taking damage. And it has extra abilities based off of how many counters it has. As long as it has 3 or more counters, it has flying. As long as it has 6 or more counters, it has a triggered ability when it attacks or something. And we've had things vaguely sort of similar to this before, the Phantom creatures were cards that were printed 0/0s that had counters put on when they entered, and then they lost counters instead of taking damage. But pairing that mechanic, which we have seen and works very well, with this idea that as you lose counters, your spaceship starts to malfunction.
Yeah.
And starts to not work as well, and so it loses its abilities. That's a really cool space to play in.
Yeah. And I feel like that could be an actual playtest cards because we have the space set coming out next year. You know what I'm saying? I can connect those dots, even if they're not true. Like I can make a case for connecting those dots in my head.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Raphael says, I think some of the playtest cards from MB1 had functional reprints, if I remember correctly.
that sounds
Uh,
familiar.
Yes, Enchantment Ties became a card in Theros Beyond Death. Like literally word for word. I'm gonna try and find the Theros card.
Oops.
Sniff didn't know about this space set next year.
Oh, you
Please
didn't?
be joking, he
Sorry,
says.
Sniff.
Indicate would be a great card. I think that Indicate would be better if it was a cleave. I've seen versions of the meme where someone takes the actual card Vindicate, right? Which is
Yeah.
one black white for destroy target permanent.
Mm-hmm.
And they turned it into, the cleave card where you can play it for 0 and then you just get target permanent. But if you pay the full cost for it, then you get to destroy target permanent. And they also put the V in the bracket, so like part of the name changes from Vindicate to Indicate.
Yeah.
And the destroy is in brackets, so that's the other part you lose. Indicate kills Phantasmal Dreadbot. Yeah, it's true. But like having it be able to do something else sometimes if you want to pay more mana for it is a gas in a Lazav deck. That's true.
Just committing crimes everywhere.
My Blake's Cube has a card, How to Keep an Is It Mage Busy,
Mm-hmm.
from MB1. It was one of the playtest cards. It's a single mana, blue-red hybrid mana, and the text of the card. It's I think an instant,
Sorcery.
or maybe it's a sorcery.
It's a sorcery.
Sorcery. Okay. And the text of the card is return this to your hand. Yep.
I like
Can we
the
make it arcane?
That's
I love the
hilarious.
in-art flavor text of "Can we make it arcane?"
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is a card that I don't know if there's ever plans to make this into a real card, but Blake has put it in his cube, and it is an extremely draftable card in that man's cube. I've used this to win games.
What is the win con here? Are you storming off? Like, what is the?
Oh,
Yeah.
just things like Saheeli
Oh, okay.
that just make bodies every time you cast a spell.
Fair.
Or,
Yeah, totally fair.
For a while I was comboing it with I think it's Conspiracy Theorist, which as an attack trigger you can discard a card to draw a card, and then the card that you discard gains madness. Basically, you can cast it.
When it attacks, you may pay one and discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Whenever you discard one or more non-land cards, you may exile one of them from your graveyard. If you do, you may cast it this turn. So yeah, basically.
Yeah. So I was just attacking with this guy, discarding How to Keep an Idiot Mage Busy, and then casting it to put it back in my hand. And then getting a soldier off of Saheeli, and
yeah, that's true.
We have buyback, but nothing has buyback for 1.
Yeah, I think what do we have? Buyback 3 is pretty much it.
Just put Indicate in a cube with Heroic, Valiant, and Illusions. Now it's very playable. Yeah, no, it's true.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't have that cube built, and I don't know anyone who does, but if you build it,
it'll do the thing.
Why is Twitch telling me I can sub to this channel when I can't?
I don't know, Scooby.
I don't
Maybe
know.
you've reached your maximum subs for Twitch.
Oh, Sniff says
you're too generous.
I went infinite with that card in his cube. I don't remember that. How did you go infinite with it?
Oh yes, tell us of the infinite.
Probably something like Boji that makes a red mana every time you do it.
Oh, yeah.
Gross.
Yeah, that'll work. That'll do.
Yeah, Boji. Whenever you cast a spell, add red until the turn you use this mana steps and phases end. So that right there just pays for the infinite cast.
Right.
If you've got a way to make an additional mana, or if you make an infinite.
Sniff is a very good combo deck player.
It's true.
I don't know if you knew this
Sniff's
deck.
a very good Is It player.
Very good Is It. He won in Chicago with Gretchen. Like, come on. Sniff knows what he's got in his heart. Yeah.
Cringe.
No, Scoob, I don't know if I have. I don't know if subscriptions are something you have to set up in Twitch. If they are, I have not done that. So I appreciate the gesture though. Sounds right, but it was like 3 years ago when he visited.
Storm killing guy with Magecraft Make a Treasure would do it too, especially with treasure ETBs.
Yeah. Stormkill artist. I always thought about that one for PDH. I don't know if you guys, either of you guys, played against that one or with that one.
Very
I
easy
haven't
to shut
actually.
down.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I have played against it once or twice. Very easy to shut down. You just kill the artist.
Yeah, you just
because their
typical
their
Voltron
deck
stuff.
kind of relies on the treasures existing, and you just make the artist cost 8 or 10 mana, and then it's game's over.
Then you gotta sacrifice all the treasures to pay for it, and then he's just a 2/2 for 12 mana.
You're assuming it ever lands on the field long enough for them to make a treasure.
Erosium's got it built.
Yeah,
Some of the
does.
most fun Magic he's ever played.
I can see that, just like
I've
mono red
definitely played-
Spellslinger stuff for sure.
I've definitely played against one of them on your streams, Brad. So someone
Really?
here has to have it built. Yeah.
I have to think about that one because there was like a 2-month period of time where I was kind of theorizing it and asking about it and everything. Maybe somebody played it on one of my streams as like a request, like, "Oh, I have it built. If you're asking about it, I'll play it," sort of thing. Yeah, 12 mana for a 2/2 and being hellbent. Hashtag mono red. That's exactly my type of deck. But yeah, you get the subscription splash when you first sign up with any Twitch stream these days if they do not have a subscription available. That's right. That's right, Dew. Dew knows all about the ins and outs of the Twitch. Brad has not done his time in Twitch settings. Hell, no, I have not. I tend to avoid Twitch settings. I copy the stream key, and that's about it. And I open the browser. That's all the Twitch I do, because it is a labyrinth back there behind the curtain. Like with all the stuff the pals have set up, like that is super impressive with all their different, settings and chat involvement and ways to spend points and all that. It's just crazy. It's a crazy amount of stuff.
John works hard.
Yeah.
Sometimes
it shows.
It's tough being a landlord. You gotta put in the work. You gotta put in the effort.
Yeah, I believe it.
Poor John.
Poor John. True. Mono red Zada.
Stein says,
that's the way to go.
Why would you do Zada? That's just it's cheating.
I love Zada.
Zada does
Zada's
feel
so
like
good.
cheating sometimes. It is real good. Real good.
Okay, Stein. Nerd.
Oh, good stuff. Was there anything you two wanted to talk about Mystery Boosters 2 or just anything in general? I know, Dave, you got your big trip coming up.
Yeah, big trip coming up. Yeah, if you definitely block off some time next weekend, August 17th. So that's going to be Saturday night into Sunday morning, into Sunday afternoon, into the beginning of Sunday evening. Definitely block off some time there. We're going to be doing a big 24-hour stream. I want to see everyone in the community at least once. Pop in, say hello. Throw us a few bucks for an elephant sanctuary. I don't know any details yet, but I'm sure that there's going to be some sort of charity thing happening.
Sure. Yeah.
Sniff might have more information about that. I don't know if he's given that any thought, but yeah. Last year we did we were accepting donations for charity for an elephant sanctuary. It happened on National Elephant Day. We ended up raising a significant chunk of money, and that included everyone who subscribed to Twitch during that period of time. That was all part of the donation. Dew's got the elephants in chat. Larbert's got the elephants in chat. Yeah, $1,300.
$1,300. That's dope. That is cool. So cool.
Which is massive for a Twitch channel that usually has 10 to 15 viewers. So yeah, we're gonna try to beat some numbers. We're gonna see if we can go for maybe longer than 24 hours, raise more than $1,300. Yeah, we're gonna see what happens. Yeah, definitely set aside some time, mark it in your calendars. 17th. Erosium's excited to see the 5-color pile. won't get the Renegade map done in time. That is okay. Do
That's
not worry.
all
This is
right.
a no pressure thing. Yeah, I'm going to debut an exciting
Oh.
new deck. I have it. The deck lives
Oh,
in this
hype.
box.
Oh, hype. Getting hype.
Every single card in this deck was signed by a community member. Right now, I'm only missing 6 cards, and when Erosium sends some cards, I'm gonna have to swap some stuff out.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, some of the art in here is high quality, and
Truly
there will be no
incredible.
spoilers.
No, you just have to tune in and watch.
You'll have to tune in and watch. This deck is gonna. It's all sleeved. That's how much I care about this deck.
That's
We
huge.
sleeved the whole thing.
Huge.
Is the community deck ready? Yeah, it's pretty close. There's 6 cards. 6 cards remain unsigned as of right now.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna get those ones signed. Hopefully,
It will.
I've
It will,
spoken with
Robert.
people.
It will
I've heard that
literally,
some cards are in the mail. The
literally
deck
change
will
this
change
format
PDH
forever.
forever. Yeah, it's gonna be real pretty. Look, it's not gonna do anything. There's 0 synergy. None of the cards work well together. Half the cards don't even work. I need to get the altar tour requested. I don't know what that means.
That is too much
I don't
power in play
know
because
in what way, but there's too much power in one place. Yeah.
every community
Yeah.
member that's contributed to that deck has like imbued a piece of their energy into the
Yeah.
car. So it may just set the table on fire.
Yeah. I got cards from Utvil Corne in there.
Yeah. How about
Some of these cards have crossed the ocean.
that's beautiful.
Abby put some of the cards crossed the ocean twice.
Oh,
I mailed a card to Abby, and
that's
it is
amazing.
currently on its way back to me.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Even
It's
Abby's in
gonna
on
be.
it. Globe trotting.
Yeah. If anyone is listening right now and is not in on it, you need to contact me.
Yeah, get
Tell
in
me-
on it. Hell
Tell
yeah.
me. Yeah, shameless propaganda. Springer. I know Springer. Dax is in there. I'm just looking through the chat right now.
Sure.
Erosium's gonna put something in the mail for me. I think Springer's. Oh, Seraphiel I think might be new enough in the community. Yeah, Springer and Seraphiel. Stein, do you have a card in this deck? What card would I add to just represent Zada going berserk? Faraday's Fireball? That's my favorite Zada
Fireball.
card.
Yeah, sure.
Stein, you should send me a signed Faraday's Fireball. Charged Spark? Yeah. If anyone is listening, smash Smithereens. Sure. Yeah. Ship it.
Oh, definitely sniff. There's a ton of energy in that deck. Yeah.
I need to hold that Oot card in my hands. I need to feel the energy. Yeah.
Oh, you will. You will.
Spoilers. There's 2 Oot cards. Sniff.
Oh, look at that. Oh, these live streams are fun. A little unscripted. Good times. A little
Oh,
chat
the
talking.
alt art was Zada. Yeah. You're right.
The alt art
Yeah.
was out of two.
All right, Stein, send me a smash to Smithereens. We'll put it in the deck. Springer, send me your favorite common goblin.
Yeah.
Put that. I not Crazed Goblin. Crazed Goblin is already in the deck. Are any of you guys playing in Common Cause 5? Yes,
I probably am, yes.
I will be there.
Unclear. Just because I have something the weekend before.
Sure. That's on the 31st, correct? August 31st?
Yes.
Yep.
August 31st.
Yeah, I should. As of right now, it's a yes, but we'll have to see how it goes. But I'd like to experience a different, just a different online tournament. I know it's all the same format, but
Robert's in.
I've heard that Sanctuary and Common Cause they feel different as a player, so I'd like to see what those rumors are about.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about Common Cause. I've been wanting to do one for a while, but
Yeah,
like
same
they just
here.
fun happening on weekends where I'm really busy.
Mhm.
I'm currently standing on a ladder in the center of the screaming.
Screaming. This time it's personal.
Amazing. Yeah. I yes, I'm excited to catch a common cause finally. I actually so like after when he announced the most recent one, and I was like, man, that's a weekend where I have something really important already going on. I can't skip that thing for common cause. I'm gonna have to sit this one out.
Sure.
Like when that happened for like the third time, I messaged him and I was like, all right, Chris, we need to coordinate this. These are the weekends that I'm gonna be in North Carolina. I need you to schedule a common cause on a weekend that's not these. And he's
Yeah.
like, I got you. Like,
That
tell
is
me when is
fantastic.
good for you, and that's when common cause will happen. And I was like, yes.
That's fantastic. See, that's community right there. That's fantastic.
Common cause also in this deck.
Is it another time for Tony Baloney to shine? Are you off that deck?
Oh yeah. I still want to see what Death Rattle Owner can do. I think
it's still got some left in the tank, man. Honestly.
yeah. I think there's a piece of me that's tempted to sort of pivot to Vohar, which is a very similar deck with a more well-defined win condition.
Sure.
It's definitely still just a control deck with a lot of interactive pieces.
Mhm.
Less board wipes, more spot removal,
Right.
but like more sort of staying power with this buyback ability and the looting. Like you just kind of never run out of gas and you're constantly draining people.
Mhm.
Definitely a clock. So I'm tempted to switch to that. There's a piece of me like now that combo's everywhere again. There's a part of me that just wants to switch to Bird Horse and just
Sure.
punish the combo for its arrogance.
Right.
But I think I need to really exhaust all the potential of Tony first. And right now I only played 8 games with Tony. So
Okay. Well, it got a win. It got a win. I was there. I saw it happen. I
did.
felt it happen.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
I certainly enjoyed that game a lot.
I've seen
that was
Adarumi deck. They're fun.
I
I don't know if the ones
yeah.
you built are competitive necessarily, but I've seen you do some scare tiller shenanigans, some other creature
Yeah.
shenanigans with that one.
So the Adarumi sort of saga has been a weird one for me. Like when Adarumi got spoiled, I got so excited that I wrote my first ever PDH article about her, and I published that on the home base, and I was super excited. And then I built her, and I was excited to just like do Gary things.
Sure.
And I realized that if you're doing Gary things with Adarumi, it makes the game super unfun. Because
Can't imagine why.
doing a single Gary thing is game over for the whole table.
Yeah.
At that point, it's basically a combo deck, right?
Mm-hmm.
The combo is Arumi's in play and untapped, and then you put Gary in your graveyard, and
That's
you
it.
win.
That's it. Yep.
And so I was like, well, this deck has a lot of legs. I should make it competitive. So I retooled the whole deck to be competitive. I added a lot more counter spells. I added a lot more interaction, more spot removal, trying to stop combos. And I took it to a handful of competitive games, and they were just like, "Oh, it's Arumi. I can make you not win by making sure that she stays dead." And I was like,
"That's one way to do it."
You're super correct. There's nothing I can do to stop that. And then like, there was one time where I got Arumi like untapped and online, and someone was like, "Yep, I'm just gonna sit on this honored heirloom." And I was like, "Okay."
Oh no.
Do nothing. And there's another game where like I got Arumi online and someone was like, "Here's Relic of Progenitus." And I was like, so like the problem with competitive Arumi is that she is so fragile on so many different axes that people who play in competitive games are super prepared to handle. And I just got dumpstered over and over again, and I was like, okay, Arumi's not competitive and Gary's not fun and casual. I need to build a hyper casual version of Arumi.
Mm-hmm.
So I took out all the interaction, and I was like, what's fun to do with her? Mnemonic Sliver is fun. Phantasmal Dreadmaw is fun.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, I just built a version of. I still have an Arumi deck because I still love that whole mechanic. It's very dear to my heart. I just don't think it's. Hold on. Not Mnemonic Sliver. What's the other one? The one that Fate Seals.
Oh. Yep, you're right. Let's get it up there. What?
Sniff says no one runs removal or interaction anymore. It's time to bring Arumi back. Maybe it is. Right now my plan is to bring removal and interaction back. That's what I need. That's what I want to bring back to tournaments. What is this thing called?
I don't remember. I'm trying to look it up.
Okay,
Was it
we're going to
blue?
Scrap. CI equals U T sliver O. Look.
Mesmeric.
Mesmeric.
There we
Yeah,
go.
that's the one.
There we go. Got there.
Yeah, the Mesmeric sliver. That's funny to use with Araumi. You encore that and you get to Fate Seal 9. Like that's what I want Araumi to be at this point. It's just Phantasmal Dreadmaws and Mesmeric Slivers, and like I still do have one, like, this card will end the game card in the deck, and it's Lotleth Giant, and it costs 7, and it takes a lot of setup. So if I hit that, I feel like I've earned it.
Yes.
But it's not just like effortless like Gary, and I still get to attack with Dreadmaws and attack with I have turns where I double encore and I double encore Scaretiller and Howling Golem. Like,
yep, I've seen those turns. Those are fun.
Yeah.
And the Lotleth Giant versus Gary, like the Lotleth hits target opponent where Gary just wipes out the whole table. Like, you're right, you do absolutely have to work for it.
Yeah. And if you've only gotten halfway there with it, you can just turn it sideways and it's a 6/5.
It's giant 6/5. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, Arumi's cool. I've seen it. I've lost to a very powerful version, and I've seen Dave's Scaretiller Howling Golem version. So she's cool. Very cool commander. I think Scooby has either theorized or actually built a infect, a poison Arumi deck.
He's got that built in paper.
He's got it built in paper. I think I've played against it. Yeah. So that's also a route you could go, but yeah,
right.
It's so heavily reliant on the graveyard that it doesn't. You're right. It doesn't. One or two activations of a relic or an outer heirloom, and you're just done. Like, it doesn't just set you back like a turn. It sets you back like a whole entire like turn, like 3 or 4 turns. Like, it's crazy how powerful graveyard hate is.
It's that's Arumi's crutch is that she's super reliant on the commander surviving a turn cycle and reliant on your graveyard being uninteractive, and like getting both of those things to happen at once is really difficult.
Because everything in that deck is public knowledge. Like, they see what's in your graveyard,
right.
They see Arumi's untapped, they see whatever they need to see, and they know what's coming. So
you don't get to play these I don't have Freed from the Real in my hand games. Like, it's really hard to make it work.
Yeah.
The meta of a week ago might be the meta for it. The meta that Weavers just sort of snuck right into the finals both times. Like that. I don't know if the meta is going to react to Weavers having done Weaver things.
I doubt
back
it.
to back. But TLDR, I'm bringing Tony to Common Cause 5, and it's going to be a great time.
That's what started the conversation.
Yep. We're going to do a 24-hour stream on the 17th, and then 2 weeks later, I'm just going to dive directly back into a whole ass day of PDH.
You're going to baloney some people right in their face.
Right in the face.
Now, are you guys, I know you're going to be at the PAL studio for longer than just the 24-hour stream. Do you guys have any other streams planned? Any other games? Like, not just Magic, but anything else going on? Or do you usually, while you're there, do you do anything stream-wise besides the 24-hour one?
In the past, we have drafted a cube and then streamed some of the cube games. It's really hard to stream the draft itself because you're kind of just watching everyone make like secret decisions.
Sure.
Like, it's no good way for you to like show the camera the card that you're picking without showing everyone else at the table the card that you're picking.
Right.
So it's hard to stream a draft. We can stream the draft games, and that's super fun. I've heard rumors of a Pokemon Cube that the pals have been threatening me with that for years, but I've
Okay.
never actually played it, which is at this point a shame.
Sure.
Um, we always playing we always end up playing at least a few hours of Smash Brothers, but I don't think that's ever been streamed.
Yeah.
Um, at some point in the 24-hour stream, Teddy will come over, probably at like 3 in the morning, and sit down and play some sort of GameCube game in the other room,
Mhm.
so that we'll get to hear that all night long.
Excellent.
I've never played Lorcana, and I don't know how, so maybe not Lorcana, or
Maybe not
maybe
a
they teach me.
Lorcana cube.
The Lorcana was like the 2 games I've played was super easy to like watch a game and
It's-
immediately pick up on
Yeah.
all of the mechanics.
It's really
Oh.
easy to pick up. Yeah.
Sit down.
That's good.
Like as
I mean,
as a Magic player who has played Pokemon, who has played Yu-Gi-Oh, who has played Flesh and Blood and Lorcana was by far the easiest to pick up
Absolutely.
instantly.
Good.
Yep. Absolutely.
good.
It was a lot like, I don't want to say it was like Keyforge, another one of the games I've played, but Keyforge was very easy for a long-time Magic player to pick up.
Mhm.
Lorcana is very easy for a long-time Magic player to pick up.
Yep.
Um,
It's very
Yeah, I mean,
linear.
if the pals have Lorcana cards, I'll play Lorcana.
yeah.
And yeah, it was fun. I've only played a couple times, but it was decent.
Yeah, there's
Yeah, my locals for Lorcana don't do any hardcore things or whatever. They don't meta deck build or whatever. They don't do that online. They literally like they all buy a box. They crack their box. They sell anything that's ultra expensive back to the store for store credit, and then just build with what's left.
Sure.
And sometimes they break even. Sometimes they make $10. Sometimes they're down $20, but they have all because they just sell everything that's ultra expensive, and then they just play unsleeved with what they have, and they'll trade cards back and forth, like games were meant to be.
Right.
Like Magic is Richard Garfield intended, and
Sure.
I looked at them and I was like, you know what? If that's how this community is going to be, I'll pick up Lorcana for that.
Sure.
yeah, that sounds
Um,
super dope.
So
Yeah, I'm going to be at the PAL studio for a little less than a week, so there's going to be lots of opportunity to play things. My plan was to join them on Thursday.
Mhm.
So next Thursday, it's going to be eight days from now. For the regularly scheduled Thursday night stream, I'll be there for that. On Friday, it's possible we may end up streaming on Friday as well. Saturday, 7 p.m. we start the 24-hour stream. Sunday we finish that up, go to Waffle House. Monday's probably just going to be crashing all
Oh yeah,
day.
absolutely.
Monday night, probably going to do a live PDH pod from the PAL studio.
As of right now, that's the plan. Yeah.
Still working on what the details of that are going to look like.
Right.
Might stream that here. Might stream that on the PAL's Twitch.
Ho ho.
If
ho,
we stream it on
ho.
the PAL's Twitch, we could get channel points involved. We could
Yeah.
get some grummers.
I don't know.
Get some
My
grummers.
Gambling.
suggestion was that the PALs are live streaming games while the PDH pod would normally be recording, and then while Dave's sitting there playing, Brad and I have the stream like pulled up in OBS, and then we're commentating it.
Yeah. I'm in.
I like it.
Uh,
I like it.
and yeah, Tuesday.
That's my
Tuesday-
suggestion.
I like that suggestion. Tuesday, going to be another standard issue PAL stream.
Mhm.
These pals are so cooked next week.
Yes, they
yeah,
are.
No, it's true.
There's gonna be a
and then
million channel points coming in that week.
On Wednesday morning, I'm back on the train, headed home.
Yep.
Live from Waffle House. It's Saturday night.
It's Saturday. Oh, Dex.
yeah.
He's so crazy.
I want my grummers to go for food, right? We all roll Grum Gully's generosity, and you only get to eat food if you roll that.
Yep.
Young, dumb, and full of grum. Beautiful.
Oh.
But yeah, it's gonna be a whole week of party time.
Yeah, sounds like a whole week.
It's gonna be good. Looking forward to it.
Oh, excellent. Fun episode. You guys about ready to get out of here? You have anything else you want to add for this evening before we send the chat on their merry way?
I don't know that I have anything.
No?
I don't really either. Has anybody in the chat got any last minute questions for us before we clock out for the evening? I'll have this episode. I'm going to try to separate the audio from the video and post it as a podcast as well, in case anybody wanted to listen to it. I'm also going to try to, not try to, I'm actually going to put it up on our YouTube channel also. So people can watch it over there. We'll be hitting all the major platforms. Hit that button, like and subscribe, hit your boy, that whole thing. You know how we do. So, excuse me, but yeah, I guess 6 waffles. Yeah, go get yourself some waffles, Dex. I think we're actually going to get on out of here, but we just got a few more things to wrap it up before we get out of here. If you want to email the show, you can hit us at the pdhpod@gmail.com. We'll answer any questions you have about the Pauper Commander format. You can look at us. You can look us up on X or Twitter or whatever you're calling it, at the PDH Pod. I am Pauper_B over there as well, and Dave is the Alcadron, literally everywhere else the format's being talked about. As we mentioned, the Common Cause next tournament is August 31st. Do we know a time offhand? I don't remember what time it starts.
1 p.m.
1 p.m. So you got
Sounds right.
You got plenty of weeks to
I'm gonna
fine
say
tune
with
your
more
decks.
confidence. 1 p.m.
No question
No
mark
clue
this
if
time.
it's right.
So, yeah, we'll put all the links and stuff. If I end up getting this audio up on, I guess I could do it on YouTube and stuff too. I'll get all the links to the tournament and social media and all that good stuff down in the details of the podcast or the video or whatever, however you're consuming this here episode. But we do appreciate everybody hanging out. I don't know if, Alk, do you have any last words for the chat? Liam, got anything for the chatters?
I got nothing.
Really appreciate you guys coming out here. It
was a good
super
showing.
fun to hang out with and chat and get you all involved in the episode. I like your involvement in all of this is my favorite part of everything.
It really
So,
is. It really is. Like, there's no way we
should-
would be at 112 episodes if it wasn't for the community. Like,
We should do this again.
yes, absolutely. And that was pretty
And
much
I-
the
And I
conversation
should
for
get
this
cards
one. Like, we were like,
from.
we don't have a topic for this episode, and we're like, well, we've had so many like nonstop products and awesome competitive events. Like, let's do something chill, and the people like live episodes, so let's do that. And here we are, and here you are.
Let's do it.
Yeah, it's a good time. Always a good time. You got anything else, Liam?
I'm good.
All right. Well, we're going to say goodbye, but we got to give a big thanks to MTG Brad, as usual, for letting us use multiple songs of his throughout this stream tonight. But I guess from everyone in here to everyone out there, brew a deck, go play test some cards of your own, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
Cheers.
See ya.
Bye, chat.